There are moments when you stop, look at your life, and feel this deep ache inside your chest. An ache that whispers, I should be further by now. Maybe you look back and see years spent doubting yourself, chasing the wrong dreams, giving love to people who didn't value you, or simply trying to survive in a world that never slowed down to let you breathe. And suddenly, that quiet thought appears. Where did all the time go? But what if I told you that the universe never truly takes time from you? That the moments you call lost years were really years of preparation. Years where the soil of your life was silently turning, rearranging, softening, clearing space for a seed that had not yet been ready to sprout. Imagine a tree under winter snow. On the surface, nothing moves. Everything looks still, frozen, silent. Yet underneath, roots are stretching, gathering strength, preparing for the moment they burst into life. Your life works like that too. You were growing even when you didn't notice it. Especially when you didn't notice it. Sometimes the universe hides your next chapter until you're strong enough to hold it. And that strength isn't built in moments of glory. It is built in moments when you break, bend, and rebuild yourself from the inside out. It is built when life forces you to sit with your fears, face your shadow, listen to the silence, and learn to trust something deeper than the surface of things. Maybe you lost time to fear, maybe to survival mode, maybe to trauma, uncertainty, or a world that told you who you were supposed to be. None of that was failure. It was part of your sacred alignment. Think about it. You aren't the same person you were 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even 1 year ago. Something in you has shifted. You see your patterns now. You know what drains your energy and what nourishes your soul. You've learned the difference between noise and truth, between connection and attachment, between being busy and being fulfilled. This clarity didn't come from shortcuts. It came from living. The universe doesn't operate on human timelines. It operates on energetic readiness. What you call delay is often divine timing. What you call lost years are years that forged your inner foundation. Many people rush to success, relationships, or dreams only to crumble because they never built the inner strength to hold what they asked for. But not you. You were being shaped, refined, initiated. Picture your life as a clock not ticking forward but inward. Every cycle brings you deeper into who you are meant to be. You weren't late. You were arriving. If this message resonates, take a moment right now and breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the life inside you. Feel the wisdom that only lived experience can build. You didn't waste time. You invested it in becoming someone who can finally step into their truth without collapsing under its weight. And if you're here, listening, feeling this, you already sense it. Something in you is awakening. A new chapter, a new energy, a new understanding of who you are and what you're capable of. This is not the end of your story. It's the threshold. Before we move on, take a second to support this message with a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. Your engagement helps this reach more people who are waking up just like you. Now breathe again. Let's go deeper into why the universe always restores what you thought you lost, and how these so-called lost years are about to become the richest season of your life. Think of life like a river. Sometimes it rushes forward, lively, unstoppable. Other times, the water seems nearly still, circling quietly in eddies that feel like stagnation. When you were in those slower, heavier seasons, you probably felt trapped. You questioned your purpose, maybe even questioned your worth. It's easy to assume that nothing is happening when movement isn't visible, but stillness is a phase of the flow, not the end of it. During those years when you felt stuck or lost, you were gathering power, just like water behind a dam, building pressure, waiting for the exact moment when the gates open and everything finally rushes forward again. And that release, that acceleration, that is what is coming into your life when you align with your inner truth and begin to trust the divine timing that has always held you. Many people think transformation is loud. They imagine breakthroughs arriving with fireworks, sudden clarity, and instant change. But most real transformation begins quietly. It begins in confusion, in exhaustion, in a quiet whisper inside you that says, something has to shift. It begins when you stop distracting yourself from your own soul. When you finally stop running and sit with your truth. Let's talk about those years that felt wasted. Those years taught you boundaries. You learned what betrayal feels like, so now you know what loyalty looks like. You learned the exhaustion of trying to please others, so now you're learning the peace of choosing yourself. You felt the weight of living out of alignment, so now you recognize the calm that comes with authenticity. You spent time searching for validation outside, so now you know the freedom that comes when you start validating yourself from within. Sometimes, you needed to lose yourself to realize how deeply you deserve to be found. Think back to moments when you were moving through life like a ghost, disconnected from your own spark. Maybe you woke up every day feeling like something was missing. Maybe you followed routines that felt lifeless, relationships that felt heavy, beliefs that didn't fully belong to you. And then life hit you with discomfort, endings, or silence. That wasn't punishment. That was direction. That was the universe saying, it's time. You are ready to grow beyond this. Imagine a seed buried underground, in darkness, under pressure, invisible. That's where it starts to break open. It doesn't break because it's dying. It breaks because it's becoming. The same happened with you. Those lost years were years of internal cracking, years where your spirit expanded beyond your old patterns, your old identities, your old ways of coping. You were dissolving the version of yourself the world shaped and awakening the version your soul always knew you were meant to become. Sometimes healing looks like stillness because stillness is where awareness rises. Sometimes it looks like sadness because grief clears space for new life. Sometimes it looks like fatigue because your nervous system is rewiring and your body is learning what peace feels like after years of tension. None of that is wasted. Every step, even the ones that felt backwards, was movement. And here's the truth many people don't want to admit. Growth takes time. Deep change requires seasons. The universe doesn't rush what it loves. You were never meant to sprint through your life. You were meant to embody it. Before we continue, if this is speaking to you, support this journey with a like and subscribe. And share in the comments something life taught you in the years you once thought were wasted. You never know who your story will help. There comes a point in every journey where you stop waiting for life to give you permission. You stop hoping time will magically return what you feel you lost. Instead, you decide to step forward, fully awake, fully aware, fully responsible for the direction you take from here. That's the moment where the universe shifts around you, not because of magic, but because you changed frequency, posture, and identity. You became someone who refuses to move from fear or regret, and instead moves from clarity and inner authority. Those years you call lost didn't break you. They trained your perception. They sharpened your intuition. They forced you to feel what happens when you abandon yourself, and now you recognize it instantly. They made you allergic to inauthenticity, to energy leaks, to cheap validation, to people who don't show up with depth or intention. Pain educated you. Silence refined you. Emptiness carved space inside you so you could hold more truth, not more noise. The universe returns time by maturing your consciousness faster than life circumstances ever could. That's the return. It's not about going back. It's about going deeper. You don't measure the value of time by how many things you checked off a list. You measure it by who you became. And who you became carries something unshakable now. Discernment, presence, boundaries, self-respect, and the ability to walk away from anything that disconnects you from yourself. There is strength in you now that wasn't there before. Not loud strength, rooted strength. Quiet, grounded, earned strength. The kind that doesn't need applause to know its worth. From here forward, your time multiplies. Why? Because you no longer waste it. Not on confusion, not on performing for approval, not on chasing what doesn't feed your spirit, not on negotiating your value, not on relationships where presence is optional and effort is uneven. You no longer tolerate what drains your peace. That alone returns years to your life. Now your time becomes creative, intentional, conscious. You build instead of react. You choose instead of drift. You speak truth without shrinking. You follow intuition without seeking permission. This is the timeline where the past no longer defines you, it educates you, where regret stops being weight and becomes fuel, where identity isn't borrowed from survival mode but sculpted from self-awareness. And yes, life will still test you. Not to break you, but to confirm your new state of being. Anything that once owned you, fear, doubt, external approval, will show up again. Not to drag you backwards, but to show you that you don't belong there anymore. You've outgrown versions of yourself that weren't meant to survive the person you are becoming. Now you're operating from presence, not panic. From self-trust, not self-abandonment. From vision, not reaction. From truth, not noise. And that is what gives you back time. Awakened living. So from this moment forward, carry yourself like someone who knows their soul took the long road for a reason. You didn't lose years. You earned level up after level up in silence, and now every step is sharper, deeper, wiser. The world doesn't get the distracted version of you anymore. It gets the integrated one, the present one. The one who understands the value of time because you lived through the ache of feeling disconnected from it. If this journey has spoken to you, support this message by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone awakening to their truth. Let your presence ripple. You never know who needs a reminder that every season counts, even the ones that hurt. You are not late. You are not behind. You are arriving. Fully equipped, fully conscious, fully ready. And this time, you're not sleepwalking through your life. You're here, awake. And time is finally yours to shape.